Doctors, what's it like when you go in for an appointment? I'm a family doctor in a small town where everyone knows each other. Last month, a woman named Brooke came in for a routine physical. She was polite, well-dressed, and married to one of the town's most respected business owners, Pete. The exam started normally. Blood pressure, temperature, the usual checks. But when I asked her to remove her jacket for the heart monitor, she hesitated. I noticed her hands trembling slightly. As a doctor for 15 years, you develop a sense for when something's wrong. She slowly took off her jacket, revealing dark bruises along her arms. Some were fresh, others yellowing with age. When I asked about them, she gave the classic response. I'm just clumsy, always bumping into things. But her eyes wouldn't meet mine. I've heard that excuse hundreds of times, usually from women who come in with suspicious injuries, accompanied by controlling husbands who answer all the questions for them. But Brooke was alone today. I pulled up her medical history. 6 ER visits in the past year, broken wrist from falling downstairs, cracked ribs from a car accident that was never reported, concussion from hitting her head on a cabinet. The pattern was clear. I followed standard protocol, asking if she felt safe at home. She just stared at the floor. I mentioned the resources available, gave her hotline numbers. She nodded politely, but I could tell she wasn't going to use them. Pete was too powerful, too well connected in our small town. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about those bruises, those ER reports. Then I remembered something. Pete was my patient too. He'd been complaining of chest pain lately, worried about his heart. I pulled up his file and checked his latest blood work. The next day I called Pete's office, told him his recent tests showed concerning results. He came in immediately. I made sure to schedule him when I knew Brooke would be at her teaching job. He sat in my office, clearly anxious. I pulled out a fake report I'd created. Your cholesterol is dangerously high, I said, and there are some irregular patterns in your heart rhythm. I'm worried about potential cardiac issues. Pete's face went pale. His father had died of a heart attack at 50. I knew this was his biggest fear. What do I need to do? He asked. First, you need to eliminate all major sources of stress, I said. Your body can't handle intense emotional states right now. No anger, no aggression. Even raising your voice could trigger a cardiac event. I watched his reaction carefully. If you hit someone, for example, the spike in blood pressure could be fatal. You'd be dead before you could even call 911. His eyes widened slightly. He knew exactly what I was saying. I continued, I've seen it happen. Man gets angry, lashes out physically, and drops dead moments later. The strain on the heart is massive. I handed him a prescription for sugar pills, labeled as heart medication. Take these twice daily. And remember, any physical aggression could be your last action on Earth. I'd hate to see Brooke become a widow so young. He stared at me. I stared back, my face professionally neutral. Finally, he nodded and left. 2 weeks later, Brooke came in for a follow-up. The bruises were fading. No new ones had appeared. It's strange, she said quietly. Pete's been different, calmer. He says he can't risk getting worked up because of his heart. I simply nodded and checked her blood pressure. That's good to hear, I said. Stress isn't healthy for anyone. 6 months later, Brooke's ER visits had stopped completely. Pete became known as the calmest man in town, famous for his newfound meditation practice and anger management skills.